Julie, take it away. Let's get going.
Good morning, or good morning for some, good afternoon for the rest of you. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about farming and self-promotion. What I'd like you to do is to get the most out of this session, I want you to take really great notes. Those of you who are our power agents, you're going to get a copy of the slides, so don't stress there. But we do want you to take notes. I want you to text your questions using the Q&A panel there on your control panel. You'll see the little question section.
That looks like this. Sorry. Yeah, it looks like that.
That's okay. So for questions, use the Q&A panel. If you've got technical issues, please use the chat box. Sarah's on the line as well. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Sarah's going to be managing our technical questions, and I will be working the questions for Darryl. So on that note, Darryl, I'm going to let you take it away. Let's get started. We've got a lot to cover.
Yeah, I think we might have some other slides that I might go through really quick. So these slides are just talking about how great I am, right? So we're going to skip these slides and get right into the material, but I do want to cover this part. So two things. Number one is the question that we always get with these monthly webinars is, when am I going to be in the area live? So if you go to that website that's on your screen right now, which is poweragentseminar.com, this is where we post my live seminars when I'm traveling from city to city. These are not my client events. These are events that we do just for the open market. And the second question, is this webinar a sales pitch? Actually, no. So let me just be clear though. There's three people on this call. The first group are people who attended our event. We do this event once a year, January 30th. It was Long Island, New York. It was the inventory intensive. And there was a section in here that I didn't get to teach because we went deep on some other really important stuff. And as a matter of fact, we're thinking of extending next year to a 2-day program so I can get everything. So anyway, there's those people that we want to teach them what's in this workbook. The second group is our power agents. And those are people in our coaching program. And then the third group of people on the call, you're not either one of those. You're a guest, and we're happy to have you. But if you're a guest, I do want to bring you up to speed on what the Power Agent program is, because you'll have an opportunity if you want to become that. And I do want to talk to the Power Agents and everybody for a second. This program is only $27 a month. You can cancel any time, but the first 30 days for new Power Agents is only $5. So they have complete access to everything. And everybody that is a Power Agent or a previous attendee at the intensive this year, you're going to get a copy of today's slides. For the Power Agents, I want to talk to you for a second. This, even if you weren't at the intensive, what I'm going to be teaching from is this topic. So as a Power Agent, when you log in and you go to Classroom, this is what the website looks like. If you go to Farming and Self-Promotion, everything you see today is coming from that tab, okay? Now, and when you go to that tab, there is just tons, a plethora of information. I also want to remind the Power Agents that every month we're adding new content, such as what you're seeing on the screen. So make sure that you keep coming into the site. And like, here's an example of a calendar that helps you stay focused every day on activities, what to do going into March. We have February up on there. There's also these interviews that we're doing every month. By the way, if there's any Power Agents that want to be considered for me to interview and spotlight on the magazine, just reach out to my company and say, hey, listen, I would like Darryl to interview me. Don't be shy. And also, Power Agents, this is just a screenshot. Don't forget, every week I'm doing coaching calls every Monday for you, and you have access to that phone number. All right, with that said, let's get into the content. Now, again, for those of you that were at the intensive, we're starting on page 19 in that workbook. Here's the first thing. Let me get this. I got something in my screen in my way visually. Let me get rid of it. Okay, number one is the advantage to farming and self-promotion going into 2020 is that business comes to you. So that's one of the big advantages when you put a farming and self-promotion campaign. The second advantage that you have is that no more cold call, because any of the calls that you do will be to follow up with the mailings that you've done for people. So if you're mailing out, let's just say, for example, 500 people, 500 houses, I should say, and you're hitting them on a regular basis, and then periodically you start calling those people, it's maybe a follow-up to those mailings, so it's a little bit more of a warm type of call. It's a non-threatening way to prospect because you're just being a service, a resource for the community. And the last benefit is eventually it can create a steady flow of income for you. But there's something, I'm probably going to talk about this later, but I'm going to say it now. There is a disadvantage to farming and self-promotion, gang, and the disadvantage is that it takes two things. It takes money and it takes time. So I want to be clear with everybody. If you're an agent that is financially struggling right now and you don't have the funds to go into a whole farming and self-promotion campaign for the next 6 months to 12, you should not do that. You should be calling FSBOs and expireds because that costs no money and that's now business, and build your inventory that way. So this webinar is for the next level power agent on how to build their business and a steady flow of income. Now, I don't want to get too lost on the weeds on this because I have so much to give you in such a short period of time, but here's the concept. For every 10 people in your sphere, it should generate at least one sale or one referral per year. So that means for every 100 people that stay in the contact with you, that could generate 10 transactions. So this is a little form that, again, those of you that are power agents, you're getting a copy of these slides. You can fill this out later. What you can do, because it's very self-explanatory, if you wanted to back up, like for example, on this slide, if you look at the gray at the bottom, if let's say you had a financial goal of $100,000, your average commission per sale is $5,000. Well, 5,000 goes into 100 20 times. That means if the transactions that you got of 20 transactions, 66% of them came from referrals or from farming, past clients. You need 13 deals, and bottom line is 10% of your business is being generated, or of that, you need 130 people in your database of referrals and past clients, right? So that's an example. Okay, let's continue. Because I know when we get into math, sometimes people get confused. All right, now let's see, preparation to doing a farming and self-promotion campaign. By the way, those of you that see these page numbers at the bottom, that's for my intensive people that were at the intensive in that workbook. So the first thing in preparing to do a farming and self-promotion campaign is you want to establish a niche market. So what's your niche? There's different ways to do a niche market. One of them is geographic, yeah. So which is the most common, where we'll pick a neighborhood where we work and have 500 houses that we're mailing to. It could be price range. It could be that you want to deal with first-time buyers, or it could be that you want to deal with $1 million properties, higher-end properties. It could be condos and co-ops. That's a different type of market because they have different rules, regs. You got to deal with committees and boards. Could be a style of home, like let's say you like contemporary homes or unique homes. So you want to start to ethnic, which is, I don't want people to get twisted about fair housing, but if let's say one of our agents that I used to manage, her name was Sue Wong, Korean lady, and Sue knew, she hung out with fellow Koreans, and she lived in a neighborhood where there was a lot of, she had this network of people based on her background, right? So that's okay. That's totally okay to market to that. Investors, retirees, first-time buyers. So here's my point, gang. The most popular niche that we focus on usually is geographic. What I want you to, and that's fine. I just don't want you to think that that's the only way. There are other types of niches that you want to do. One of our power agents, he focused on land. And so that was his niche market. Now he still listed out other properties that weren't just land, but he always looked for vacant properties. And so he had, his slogan was, I forget the power agent's name, but let's say Darryl Davis, right? Darryl Davis, outstanding in his field. That was his slogan. And his business card was him standing on a vacant piece of land with his hands out like that. And that was his caption. So when you focus on a niche, you can start to brand that and market that, okay? So look for a niche that hasn't been exploited by another agent. So, for example, My second broker, who was my biggest mentor in real estate, was Mac Levitt. And Mac he considered himself a waterfront specialist on Long Island. He actually had the high tide, low tide water table. He knew when was the best time to show property based on the high tide. He knew how much it cost for new bulkhead. He knew when it came to water, Mac knew about it. He knew about boats. He knew how deep, everything. Now, if let's say you wanted to start listing waterfront property in Oceanside and Long Beach and Baldwin Harbor, you'd be competing against Mac, because when people thought waterfront, they thought of Mac. So it's better to try and find the niche that hasn't been owned by another agent, if possible. Yeah, if you can't, your marketing is going to be a little different, because you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to be compared to the other agent. And then you've got to start getting a little aggressive. Any of us that follow politics right now, we have the Democrats and they're running, and there's a bunch of Democrats and they're starting to compete with each other and starting to get a little aggressive, because you're being forced. You have to do that when you're fighting against somebody else. I'm trying to think of another example that just came to mind, and it totally left.
Darryl.
What's that?
I want to give you a great niche that I worked with an agent here in Florida whose niche market was actually Harley Davidson riders. She and her family, they did all of the rides for different charities and all that all over the United States. And so that was her niche. She had the name of her company and her website on the back of her leather jacket. So it's just
Awesome.
really cool. It's an outside of the box idea for finding a niche, but those were her people and she was passionate about helping them. So it was a great way to become number one in that sector.
Yeah, if you're going to, the thing about self-promotion is that you can have a lot of fun with this, which I'll show you later. But what you'll also notice, all of this takes money. So you should not be spending money you don't have. All right. And you've got to have a little bit of a bankroll. Okay. You determine the number of people in your farm. So whatever that farm is, whatever that, again, when we say farm, we usually think geographic, but keep in mind, it doesn't have to be just geographic. But if you do geographic, there's a way to get some information. And one of the things we recommend is RPR. They have some incredible tools that can really help you know about a geographic market that you want to start to farm to, okay? This is just an example, right? So I punched in the town that I live in, and it shows me all of what the average sales price are, what the turnover rate is it going up or down? So here's another thing to consider, and listen, I am not going to really talk about this because I would need 15 minutes just for this page. So I'm going to give you an overall concept. What this chart does, and I'll show you I actually did a webinar just on this chart.
Yes.
This chart will actually explain to you, based on MLS stats in certain neighborhoods that you want to work, which farm area would be the most productive, giving you the highest return on your investment to do that farming. So if you're looking at maybe farming in this town or this town or this town and you're not sure, this chart's going to help you really determine that. Now, let me show you where that is. For power agents, when you log into the Power Program website and you go to the farming, you're going to see this over here. It says Farm Area Calculator Spreadsheet, which is an actual Excel file that you can fill out. And there's a tutorial video on how to fill that out. So if you're looking to do a farm area that is geographic, that's going to help you determine how many people you should have in your farm, how much it's going to cost you a month. It's really quite extensive. Okay, let's go on. Number 4, identify your competition strengths and weaknesses when there is competition. So if you're going to, let's go back to that waterfront thing, right? If you're going to prospect waterfront properties and there's an agent who's considered a waterfront specialist. Oh, there's another example. Oh, that I forgot and it came back to me. My step-sister-in-law, her name's Kelly, and Kelly, she lived in a subdivision that another real estate agent lived, And so Kelly wanted to, get all the listings in the subdivision she lived in, but she was also competing with another agent. So the marketing that she had to do had to be a little aggressive to compare, why Kelly was perhaps better than the other agent. So that's the challenge when you are going head to head with another agent. But you can't avoid it unless you create your own niche. So, which goes back to the other thing. Number 5 is get an appropriate photo. Like, it's important because you are the product, you are the brand, so you need to promote yourself, right? So, for example, this is not really an appropriate photo. And by the way, these are photos that are current. These are not like look at a phone. Who uses a phone with a cord? Like some younger people, what is that hanging from his hand? Okay, and this is a fairly recent photo. Just like this is not a good idea because unless you're selling wine for a living, you see.
Cocktails and condos.
Cocktails and condos.
Cocktails and condos.
That's great, Julie. All right. What would you say to this one, Jules? What's the caption there? Now, God bless this. Listen, God bless this
10
woman.
acres or 10 gallons, I got you covered.
What is it?
10 acres or 10 gallons, I got you covered.
Now listen, where she's from, that might be okay.
It's lovely.
Exactly. So that might be okay. But if you look at the backdrop, that looks like a high school picture backdrop, like she went into it's a little dated. Like this is, this guy's got the Century 21 logo hanging from his ears. And these to me are not really professional photos that you want to put out into the world. Like here, this is Peter Clavin, LA's hottest realtor. This is a billboard.
Oh my.
This agent actually put out there. This is like not good marketing. Now, I know LA is different, but I like Wendy Heath here. Is another one where, and I actually looked up these people. Some of these people are out of real estate, and it's no surprise. So here's another one. There's just when I was searching for these photos, just to me, this is not really professional looking stuff. You have to be careful that you trying to be creative. It still has a professional look to it because like this one, I've seen this a lot. Now, I'm going to show you something interesting. Like people that are into animals, which by the way, those of you know me personally, I'm into animals and cats, love cats and da-da. But this to me is not professional. Like you don't see me doing any photos with my animals. And what I wanted to show you here is that this ad, Julie, when do you think this ad was? What does it look like to you, Julie, this ad?
It looks like it's from the 80s.
It looks like it's from the 80s. It's actually February 22, 2012.
Wow.
So, again, just be careful with using professional photos. Pay attention of like this is not a good ad here. And this one, although I really love.
It's a current picture.
Yeah, I love this one. It said, "For the love of God, would someone buy this house?" I love that one. And that's a great ad, actually. Don't get a divorce. Just get a bigger house.
Right,
Chris. So I'm just trying to have a little fun, gang. Okay. Number 6 is save enough money for 6 months of marketing. Because if you're going to take an area that you're going to promote to and you want to try and own, it's going to take at least 6 months of people repeating and seeing the same message, your face, your slogan, your logo, all of that stuff. Power Agents, one of the things that we have in that tab, that self-promotion tab for you, is we have a chart that's blank. This one's filled out as a sample that says, all right, if you were going to market yourself into a farm area, you have some print advertising, some postcards. So there's a whole bunch of ideas on things that you can do to promote yourself. And then you lay out your marketing calendar for the year. And as you can tell, this is what I mean. This kind of stuff can get expensive, right? Here's, again, because Power Agents are getting a copy of these slides and the intensive folks, I'm not going to go through all these. But what we did was we said, all right, if you look at all the holidays, what are all the different type of events and things that you can do, right? And so you should not do all of these, because if you did all of these, then you'd be in the party planning business. But we want to at least give you ideas on how to market yourself. Use a contact management software to manage your farm. Now, you know, what's interesting to me is that what we've learned is that people don't really understand what a contact management software is. A lot of people, a lot of realtors, CRM. And CRM stands for contact relationship management, which essentially is where you put all your leads and it keeps track of everything about your leads. It keeps track of the last time you spoke to them, last time you emailed them, last time you mailed them something, if they called you, what was the conversation, keeping track of notes, how it relates to maybe other people in your database of people. So if somebody refers somebody to you, you would make that connection that, oh, Mary referred John and John bought this house on this date and here's the commission we made. It's all relationship, you see. And for those of you that are power agents, you know we just launched for you the Power Builder, which is our CRM for power agents, where we've taken a lot of, and we're continuing to take a lot of the content and put it into the CRM. So that way you can have the letters already done for you and you can mail merge it and send it out. We just launched this a few weeks ago. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the Power Builder. That's another conversation. But if it's, for those of your power agents, contact the office to find out more about it, okay? The rest of you, another example of this would be Top Producer. Another one would be Wise Agents. So these are all different contact relationship management softwares. And here's the point. As an agent, you need to have one. If you don't have one, you need to get one. Like, it's not even, it's like, if you don't have, like, get it yesterday. That's how important it is. And by the way, Outlook is not a CRM. Outlook is an email software that gives you contacts information, but it's not the same thing, okay? So make sure you get a contact manager. How are we doing, Julie?
We're awesome.
Okay, develop your mailing list. So now whatever you're, so let's say I'm giving you step-by-step what to do, right? And it's in this order. This is not a, like, step one, do that first, then do step two. So that after you've done all this stuff, now you want to start putting your list together. There's a few ways to do this. The United States Postal Service, they have this thing called Every Door Direct Mail, which you can download. And again, I'm not going to get lost in the weeds in this, but how this works is you're basically buying the carrier's route. So it's possible that the carrier may be delivering mail to people that aren't, quote unquote, in your farm. It's out of it. And then there's another area that you need to buy. So you doing this is a quick way when you're doing geographic, but you're going to wind up buying more than maybe what you need, but it is the easiest, quickest way to do it. Another way to do it is Cold Directory. We're a fan of Cold Directory. That's the name of it. Just Google it, COLE Directory. And that's another way to get your list. Now, my favorite, though, is RedX. A lot of you are RedX members through the Power program, where you got your 30 days free and you got the setup fee waived. One of the things they have is called Storm Dialer. And here's what Storm Dialer looks like. When you log into your account and you type in, let's say, an address, like I put there 741 Taylor Avenue, and then it says show properties owned for at least 2 years, you'll see there the blue dots, and then you'll see the grayed out ones. So the grayed out ones are people that have lived there less than 2 years. Like, I don't want to maybe prospect to those people yet, because if they just moved in there within the past 2 years, there's a good chance they're never going to be selling anytime soon. Or you don't have to limit that.
Now?
What's that, Julie?
Average every 7 years, 7 to 10.
7 to 10 is what they say the average is. But if you have the money, you just want to download every house in your farm area, then you don't even have to put that criteria. What's really cool is that once you do that, let me see it. Yeah, that's the RedX. It downloads and you'll see, all right, there's their name, there's their what's their listing status, if they were ever up for sale, There's their phone number. Are they on the do not call list? And there it is, an Excel spreadsheet. Bada bing, you download it. Okay, now next step. So you've prepared to work your farm. I just told you how to prepare. Here's the next thing. How to work the farm. First thing is you want to mail that first letter, that introduction letter. You know, whatever it is, Power Agents, we have an introduction letter for you. You're just saying hello to the homeowner, giving some information about yourself. The second thing is you want to start hitting them on a regular, consistent basis. And my favorite is mailing just listed, just sold, market update. Let me show you. There's 3 letters, which, by the way, let me back up for a second. Those of you that get the Power Agent CRM, which is an add-on product for Power Agents, these letters that I'm showing you, all of them are in that CRM. So it's all done for you. But here's how it works. So I love these letters. This would be the first letter after your introduction letter. Dear Hanahan, I'm delighted to announce that I just sold a home at this address. Okay. Then next month you would send them, Dear Hanahan, I'd just like to let you know, here's the homes that have sold in the recently in your market. Now watch this. It doesn't say that I sold these homes. I'm just telling the homeowner, I'm letting you know this is what's happened. But because I'm sending it out on my letterhead, it creates a perception that I was involved with it somehow. I got this idea from one of our students, David Remlett. I'll get to it in a second. Let me finish this. I'm sorry. And then here's the third letter. Dear Hana, here's an update of everything that's happened in the last 30 days, right? I see some wrong dates there, but anyway, it's a sample, right? So here's how it works. This guy, David Remlin, what he did is I noticed our student, he would rotate just these 3 letters. So every 30 days, he would just mail out one of these letters and he would just change the addresses in the letters. Now, here's what happened. After about a year, this agent was getting homeowners calling him left and right because what he did for 12 months straight, he kept bombarding them with one of these 3 letters saying, listen, I'm listed and selling everything in this neighborhood. That was the perception he created. So my point here is you don't have to do all of the like calendars and postcard. Like if you just had those 3 letters and mailed those out every 30 days consistently with your photo on it, I'm telling you, gang, after a year, you're going to start having homeowners contact you. And I'm more of a fan of letters than I am postcards. All of those things I just showed you, gang, are in that tab, the farming and self-promotion, or it's in your CRM. Now, here's the next thing is you can use card magnets. I'm not saying you have to, it's a suggestion. I know some agents that do this very successfully. They're not expensive. Now, this is what's called a car wrap, right? So that's a little bit more money. And you can write your car off with that. Some agents have gotten really creative, and I think these are really good ideas. You know, when you're driving and working your neighborhood, because I think homeowners, their perception would be, boy, if this agent has the nerve to get this strong about promoting themselves, they've got to, they would probably be strong and aggressive in selling my house. I've seen some agents where they actually will invest in a moving van, We
have that up the street from us, Darryl. A realtor has the moving van. He's parked it in the most popular grocery store parking lot in the area, and on the back door of it has all these different people that have helped pay for the van. So he's got like a mortgage, he's got a title, he's got like all the other people that have helped pay for it, but his information is all on the sides. I thought that was very clever.
Awesome. Yeah, very good. Great stuff. Next thing is to validate or to position yourself as an expert in your market, you may want to consider holding a buyer or a seller seminar. Now, I'll give you some examples. And again, Power Agents, all of these samples, the actual original file is in the website, the Power Program website under farming. So that everything I'm showing you is from the farming section of the Power Program website. How to sell your home successfully in today's market. Obviously these guest speakers, some of you may recognize them. There's me and there's my better half, April, and there's Julie and Gil. But anyway, you can have 4 people in different industries and they can talk for 15 minutes. So if let's say you had a mortgage person, marketing person, a staging person, they all talk for, let's say 20 minutes each, there's 3 of them, there's an hour. And if I talked for 20 minutes up front and then I answered questions, there's an hour and a half, 2-hour seminar. You may have a seminar on how to buy a house in today's market. Again, these are just examples, but what's important is that this positions you as an expert in your market when people see that you're holding these type of topics. Number 5 is get actively involved in the schools and in your community. What do they say, Julie? The quickest way to a man's heart is through his
stomach.
Come on, Julie. Come on, Julie.
Through his stomach.
Yes, Julie, very good. Oh my God, you're the cook. I expect you to get that one right away. You must have been drinking a coffee or something in the middle of the question. Yes, the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and the quickest way through a parent's heart is through the children. If you get actively involved in your schools and your community, that's an awesome way to generate leads. One of the things I'm a big fan of is the homework folder. You know, that any of you that have children, you know, in grammar school, that the kids will have a folder with the teacher. It's called right, and it goes back and forth every day. So the teacher puts the homework assignments in the folder, and the child brings it home to mommy or daddy. They open it up. There's the assignments. They do it with the kids. They put it back in the folder and get. What I always tell our power agents to do is to sponsor these folders, that you can actually have your information on the back of it. You can have the school logo on the front of it. You talk to the principal and say, listen, I want to sponsor the 5th grade folders this year. I want to sponsor the whole school folders. And the shelf life on this is off the hook awesome. And the parents are touching it Monday through Friday for the whole school season. To me, and these things you can get for about $1 each. Good quality ones, depending. If you were to Google homework folders, school homework folders, there's this one company, Schoolmate. Do you see this? You can put all this. If you look at the screen here, it has the name of the school in the front, and then in the back there's some calculations, whatever. And in the inside, you can put compliments of, you know, make sure you have a good photo of yourself if you want. You can do it as big or as small as you want. But if you look at the prices here, you know, for 1,000 of them, they're not even coming in at $1.
Sure. Definitely become a business sponsor for the PTA and the PTSA. They want your business. They want your help. They need your help in today's world.
Absolutely,
contact the PTAs of every school.
Absolutely. Here's another thing you do is do a fundraiser. Yep. You know, you sponsor, you manage and put together a fundraiser. If you go to this called the Goodies Factory, they give you sponsorship kit. Fundraiser kits. Right? You basically they give you everything you need, the products, the cards, everything. So you just are financing it and promoting it. This is another great idea. Love this. Here's another thing. See's Candy. They have a fundraising thing that you can do with them. So you can contact them, profits up to 50% off. I love this. Aunt Annie's. They have fundraising kits. These are kits. So you just contact them, you pay for it, and it's all written for you. So that's get actively involved in your schools and your community. Be active in Facebook community groups. You know, every one of you, the area that you're probably working, there is a closed Facebook group. I always promote this because I think this is a brilliant idea. So I live in Shoreham, Wading River. We have our own group. And you'll see, like, here's an example. You know, they're promoting the Halloween, whatever thing there. Now, let me show you some. I'm choking here. Hang on. Which, by the way, you see they have a downtown, like this, what's that called? The downtown Wading River Fall Fest and Zombie Walk. Like, you show up there, get a table there. You know, sure. If you're trying. This person, they're looking for an orthopedist for their broken foot. See, here's how you work this. You you join the group, and anytime, and you check it every day. When people are looking for help, help them. So here's the rule of thumb: help people 5 times. Before you post one real estate thing. 5 times, and then post like, I'm having an open house, everybody's invited. Then don't touch any more real estate, 5 more helps. Because if you just promote your real estate business, you're gonna upset people because then they know what you're doing. This person says, please help, I lost my dog. Like, I would contact Michelle and say, Michelle, how can I help you? You want me to put flyers out? Help Michelle. Because then when Michelle finds the dog, like she did here, whoops, sorry, I went too fast. Oh, thanks everybody for helping me. Like, get involved in your community, you see. Be the mayor of your community. Then you post a real estate thing, you see. All right. So that's my idea there. Here, I love this. We did a whole thing on this trunk or treat.
We did. That was so much fun.
Now listen, this is February, so we got a long ways off from Halloween. But I didn't know, like a lot of you know about trunk or treat. I didn't know about what the hell. I just learned that this year, and I'm not going to talk about it. Trunk or treat. We created. I don't think we have it here. Oh wait, we don't have it here. But in the self promotion tab, we create. How big was that book, Julie? It was a
Oh my
whole
gosh.
book on
Yeah, it's like
right,
20 pages. It's
20
like
pages.
everything you need. It's the invites, it's the letters, it's the sponsor forms, it's everything. It's a whole book.
So power agents in the self-promotion farming tab, there's a 20-page ebook on how to do trunk or treats with, like Julie said. So check that out. And if you don't know what trunk or treat is, you've got to check it out, because this is, instead of you going door to door, Halloween, you create an event where everybody comes to one place. You can see it in the screen there. Let me show you this video. Julie, tell me if the video is playing, okay? Here's a good promo video from a New Yorker. Let's see.
Yep, it's playing.
You can hear it?
It's faint, but I can hear it.
Good property. Welcome today on a very special tour. We're going to be seeing Gramercy Park and the neighborhood surrounding it. Our tour today is going to be given by the amazing Joyce Gold. I host these neighborhood tours for people I know, for friends, for clients. People love them if they live in a specific neighborhood or if they're thinking about living in a particular neighborhood. But what makes my tour special are the stories. People love stories.
So anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but what this agent did is he does these tours of New York City in the area that he works. He hires somebody, he sponsors, he promotes it, but then he has the video, has it on his website promoting. This is one of the things that he does, being a New Yorker. Let me show you another idea of a tour. Let me see here where is it? Here's another one.
Hi there, I'm Joanne with Room Destination Marketing here in beautiful 72-degree Huntington Beach. And I'll be that host who mentions everything that you could have just seen in the photos. Let's get started. Huntington Beach is known by the gorgeously tanned local boys as Surf City, USA. Home to a 10-mile stretch of bikini-laden sand, world-class surfing, and OC's largest dog beach. So for all you dog lovers out there, you'll see.
Okay, I had to get out of shot there because I dropped something. Anyway, so there's another example of doing some kind of promo video, which, by the way, you don't have to hire professional actors to do this, right? You can do your own little, what we created here is these 35 Facebook Live. They're called Facebook Live, but they don't have to be live. You hear some topics. If you wanted to just put out some tips about, 3 ways to support your local PTA, 3 remodel ideas to get that have a good return investment, 6 reasons people don't buy a house. So you can do these little 2-3 minute informational, educational videos. We gave you 35 here, and post them on Facebook, post them on your website, post them in the closed community group on Instagram. All right, so those some other suggestions. Okay, now let's go to prospecting dialogue. Boy, I'm going to run out of time again, Julie.
Lots of great stuff. Keep going, keep going.
Intro call to your farm air. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Prairie Realty. How are you? The reason fine. I hope I'm not disturbing you. The reason I'm calling you, I've been sending you some information about the market to keep you informed about what's going on in the neighborhood. Have you been getting that information? And they say yes or no, and then you offer something else of value to them. For example, it could be, let me see, I've got something on my screen blocking this. Well, it could be a free neighborhood market report. Another example could be a free over-the-phone market analysis. So again, all of you are getting copies of these things that are power agents. The over-the-phone market analysis, how that works real easily, is that when they answer some questions about their bedrooms and baths, the style of their home, you do a big ballpark range of the value of their home. So you don't have to see it. It's like doing a drive-by appraisal. It's a ballpark. Now, if they want more specific numbers, then they invite you into their house, and then you can give them some more information and tchotchkes when you come over. So the over-the-phone market analysis is a way to build a relationship, to get your foot in the door, so they want to see more about what you have to offer. Door knocking dialogue. Hi, I hope I haven't interrupted. The reason why I'm stopping by is I've been sending you some information. Have you been getting it? Yes, great. Also, I want to stop by and introduce myself. Here's something of value. If there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know. By the way, we're also offering the neighbors this market report. It shows two things. Anyway, self-explanatory, that dialogue that I don't have to go through with you on the phone because you'll have a copy of this, those of you that are the power agents. Now, the neighborhood market report, if you're going to mail that, here's a cover letter that goes with it. Let me give you some mailing tips. One of the things you can do is share your mailings with other vendors like mortgage companies, title companies. So that'll offset some of your expenses. It's also a good idea to use real stamps on small mailings. If let's say you're doing a neighborhood open house, because then it looks not like junk mail to people. Use different size or colored envelopes. You know, if you go to Office Max, Staples, whatever, FedEx store, there's all these different size envelopes. If you're doing a small mailing on a big event that you want to get out there, go with a different color envelope. Go to Amazon and look at colored envelopes. That'll make it stand out in the mail to you. You can use a mailing house if you didn't want to do it in-house. But if you have the CRM, like the Power Builder, the database thing, yeah, just print it out on your printer and you're good to go, and hire some kid. We have some companies that we looked into that are mailing houses. Here's one, Direct Mail. Also Quantum Digital, great company. They'll do mailings for you. They'll also create postcards. So these are just tips I'm giving you. Mail Shark is another company to consider. Now, but when you start using these outside companies, it starts costing you more money. So I don't need to go over each one of these printer bees. Those are your power agents or the intensive people. You have all this to look at later. Okay, now here's some just miscellaneous ideas I'm going to give you. For print, they have this these little color books. Thank you. That you can use as an icebreaker when you go on a listing appointment if they have children, and you can actually have those customized. One of my other suggestions is that when you have a closing in the farm area, is have your clients write a letter to the neighbors saying how wonderful you are. Ask them to bring that letter to the closing table. You'll do the mailing. So you'll take care of mailing it out. You just need them to write the letter. It'd be better if they did it in handwriting. Here's another thing that you can do as a mailing tip that we give our power agents. The top 10 projects that increase the home value. So this is just some of the mailing pieces that you can send out to your farm areas. Your house, the best looking house on the block. First impressions are important. And just a smorgasbord of flyers and mailings that you can do to work your farm area. I love this guy, Brian. He created a telephone directory magnet. I like these types of magnets because these are useful for people, right? Not so much the football schedule because I don't know. I guess that's okay too. I'm just not into football. There's some other ideas of other postcards just listed, just so. By the way, this one over here, I do want to say, since you own a property in the neighborhood, now I can only find a black and white version of this, but what I love about this is that header. Since you own a property in the neighborhood, we thought you might be interested in knowing that 221 Dewberry is now available for purchase. The verbiage and wording on that to me is one of the best. And that's why I'm showing it to you, even though it's a really old postcard, it is to me the best language for a bunch of reasons. Broker open house, caravans, promoting those too. This guy, Tony Renner, what he did is he actually took all of the neighbors in his farm area and he started promoting their businesses, which I think is a brilliant idea. So these are all people in Tom's farm area that have some kind of jobs that they do, babysitting, lawn care, and he's mailing it out to all the neighbors to help them in their business. That's a brilliant idea. Guess what happened to your neighbor? I don't know what happened. Did they get shot? Another great heading. I like that one. This person, they give a percentage of their closings during the holidays to a charity. So that's that promotional idea. Vacant land, if there's any vacant land, you do a mailing on that. Absentee owners, you can do mailing on that. Hot market flyer, just a ton of different things that you can send out to work your area. Some of these can be door knockers. You know, doing a newsletter. I'm going to show that in a second. I love this, the top 100 reasons to use a real estate agent. But Power Agents, this is all in your farming and self-promotion tab. These newsletters, you can do a newsletter campaign. Listen, Julie did all the, Julie, you still with me?
I am.
Julie wrote all and created 12 newsletters for our Power Agents. Look at how beautiful these are. Let's just, look at this. So, and they're all given around the time of year. You drop your contact information on the bottom. So that's what we did. I love this. This is a great idea. Do this technique to follow and do a follow-up phone calls. This is where you can use Zillow or any of these other realtor.com that shows here's all the houses that currently are for sale or sold, and you do a screenshot and you mail that, and then you do a follow-up call and a cover letter saying if you want to know more about these houses that came up for sale or that recently sold.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great visual. Expired flyer, Halloween tips, a Halloween contest. There's an example of the certificate for the contest and a cover letter for the contest. And let me see how we're doing on our time. Boy, I got 10 minutes. Public open houses. You know, make sure that this is a way to put your best foot forward. It's an opportunity for people to get to know you. So make sure that you're creating this buying atmosphere when people come to your open houses. I love this. You can give little gifts and you can customize these boxes. I found this company, it's called All Things Real Estate. And you can have customized candy boxes made. I'm a big fan of these open houses. You can see it's real. This is what we did when we were the office that I managed. Julie, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is the open house. This is a big board that should staple it onto these onto the telephone poles. And if you can see the logo, it's a really bad photo. This is an old photo, but it has the company logo. It says open house, and then it has the address. But more importantly, it has a color arrow that directs people to it. And so there's the company. There it says open house. There's the address. Now, recently, we sold one of my investments, so I had these created. It's not for a company because I don't work for a company anymore, but this is one of our houses we sold. So it kind of looks like that. And it drags people into the open houses. Now, why am I talking about open houses when it comes to farming? Because my company, when we did this, the office policy was that you had to put a minimum of 10 of these signs out for every public open house. Now, we were a big listing office, so we would have at least between Saturday and Sunday, anywhere from 8 to 10 open houses. Now, if the policy was 10 signs minimum, right? That was 80 to 100 signs every weekend with the company logo out in the neighborhood. Now, what happened eventually, what's that, Julie?
That makes you top of mind for sure.
Exactly, because gang, let me tell you something. When we would go on listing appointments, only a couple of months after, because I opened this company with Mac right out the gate. So after 2 months of doing this, you go on a listing appointment to any FSBO and you said, have you heard of our company, Mac Levitt Realty? When we're competing against Century 21 or Co-op, the brand names, everybody would say, of course I know you guys. I see your signs every weekend. This is how we became number one, in my opinion, was these stupid ass signs. So I'm telling you, if you imagine you taking that concept, putting your logo on it, your contact information, you know, and every time you do that, here's another thing that you can do is these big flags, these signs now sells it. You buy a bunch of those, put those out. You want to drag people into your open house. Those little easels that you put a balloon, the balloons blow away, they fold up. No, you big is better, okay? Yeah, there's a bunch of other companies we looked for you, and so there's a list of companies that we'll send to you. Open Home Pro is a digital way to get people to sign in. This is another one for creating flyers, design your own real estate flyers called Snap. These are just vendors I'm recommending. How are we doing on time, Jules? I got to finish up here.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes.
Okay.
If you have questions, please use the Q&A panel.
Let me see here. Is there any questions?
Not so far. Everybody's enwrapped with your information.
Yeah, let me just see how much time I got here. Okay. Yeah, I'm almost done here. Okay. So, listen, just jot this down, gang. Beacon Stack. Okay. I can't talk about Beacon. beacon. Do you know if you use one of those mapping things and then all of a sudden you see a Dunkin' Donuts ad on your GPS thing?
Right.
That's this device. This
Oh.
device pushes out. So let's say you have a house that you just listed and somebody's driving the area, you could push to their phone if they're using it, their map, saying, hey, new house just came up for sale.
I love that.
Isn't that awesome? Okay.
Cool.
Voice pad, just jot it down. Check it out later. I don't have time. This over here, this is from Walmart. Light Agent, L-I-T-E Agent. Check it out. It's a thing. It's solar. You put it on your sign, and it puts the light.
Cool.
Yeah, Walmart. Look. Okay, past clients. Some other ideas. Send out some past clients. Anybody that sold a house, bought a house in the last year for you, send them the HUD statement and tell them that they give this HUD statement to their accountant because they need it for their taxes. They probably lost. They had it at a closing, but they lost it. Mail it to them. Here's a professional recommendation letter to past clients. You can do a golf outing for past clients. Smile stops. These are little high-end gifts to give to your past clients. And we did one for every season if you want. Here's some ideas for real sweet transaction that's always sweet and never sticky. I'm never too busy for you and your referrals. Skittles, all of the mortgage lenders in the rainbow choose Amy for their next deal. These are just ideas from other people. Your referrals are the highlight of my day. Anyway, so there's, I love this, your peeps. You're one of my favorite peeps. These are all little ideas, fortunes to have you. Oh, I love this one. The vitamins, you put a little candy in there saying, enjoy 2 M&Ms at the first sign of a tax stress. This is from obviously a tax person. So anyway, these are just little ideas. Let me highlight some ideas. I'm sorry, let me go back to that. Let me highlight some ways to get your house sold. You can mail out that to people, to FSBOs. Make no mistake when selling your house, hire Darryl Davis, although put your name on it. It's a double eraser. These are just fun, thanks for inching me along. You rule. So you can have all these customized things. I love this puzzle print. You can have a puzzle made of something, of your photo, a marketing piece. Puzzled over selling your house. If you want your house for sale sign to say sold, call Darryl Davis. And anyway, just a ton of other ideas that we created for you guys. That's all in the self-promotion. Okay, so now we have a bonus for you guys. And then I'm going to see if we have any questions in our remaining time. If you're not a power agent, I suggest you become one. And here's why. First of all, it's only $27 a month, but the bonuses for today is you can sign up for just $5. Julie, give me ooh.
Ooh.
You get complete access to the entire website, everything. It's not restricted, and you get a copy of today's slides. You get a report. Yeah, so if you wanted to, you could sign up and then cancel next week, and now you get everything.
But don't, you'll love us.
I just showed you how to rip us off. And but you could totally do that. But what you want to do is you want to go to that website that says thepowerprogram.com/webinar bonus. So that way you'll get the slides emailed to you along with this recording, which will take a few days to actually get it done. Julie, do you have any questions before we actually come to an end on this?
Don't we actually have can you rebrand the mailings with your logo? So in other words, the pieces that are in the Power Program.
Yes, you can. Some of them need a little bit more creative than others, but yes, you can. If there's something that you find you're having a challenge with, you reach out to our team and we'll help you. So yeah, what else, Julie?
How often do you send the letters again, the 4 prospecting letters, 3 prospecting letters?
Can I show those again?
No, how often do you send them? Once a month?
Yeah, so those letters, those 4 letters that I gave you, it's actually 3. You would do 1 letter a month and rotate it, right? So so after month 3, when you go to month 4, you can go back to the first letter and you just change the address based on whatever's the address for that month. Yeah. Next question.
What's a good size for if you're starting a farm area?
What's the size?
What's a good size to start?
It depends on your market. So it's really a percentage and turnover. So, the rule of thumb is a minimum of 500. But if you go to the farming self-promotion tab and you go to that Excel spreadsheet with the video, it'll help you really determine based on your market, based on your stats, how big it should be. Okay.
And there's a whole calculator there, so you can watch how to do that.
Exactly.
Lots of great information. Everybody's excited about all the ideas. We can't wait to see everybody.
You know what? Just for you people that are wondering, the Power Program also has the weekly calls every Monday, which those are interactive, right? So you call in and ask me a question. It's group coaching every Monday. The webinars, we just focus like this. We focus on the one topic and you just watch and listen. But the Monday calls are more interactive. The dedicated website is just really, people say this is the best investment in real estate because of all of the stuff that you can download, plus the magazine every month where we interview a top agent, and then the recommended other companies that we've negotiated deals for, like with RedX. We have our closed Facebook group for you, which is really huge. People really participate in that in a huge way. We hear things like agents getting FSBOs and getting listing appointments. It's really exciting. Okay, so I think we covered everything, right, Julie?
Wow, what a busy, we just got nice, thank you for the valuable ideas and a great affordable price for membership. So you're welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, gang. So listen, sign up, become Power Agent today. Thanks for calling in. Intensive people, I can't wait to talk to you guys again soon. Power Agents, I will talk to you on the next Monday call.
Talk to you on Monday.
Yeah, I'll
Thanks,
talk to you on
everybody.
Monday. I'm going to go catch my flight. Bye, Julie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.